I am Anthony from Hashland, and this is RAM. Okay, this is a living RAM and not a RAM chip. As always, I will try to make this video as easy to understand as possible for those of you who may not necessarily be tech savvy. Speaking of RAM, in a previous video I may have accidentally said that RAM was read-only memory. I am not sure why I had said that, but RAM actually stands for Random Access Memory. Read-only memory is actually ROM, a different type of chip. Older versions of RAM and ROM chips were contained in different clusters on a circuit board. In modern computers, RAM is typically contained either on a DIMM, also known as a RAM module, or the circuit board of a graphics card with a dedicated GPU graphics processing unit. A DIMM is also known as a RAM stick, which is how I will be referring to it in this video. RAM allows your computer to have more efficient and faster access to temporarily stored data on the hard drive. On another note, when you hear someone speak about the memory in a computer, they are speaking about RAM. Do not confuse that with storage, as that means the data capacity of a hard drive. By the way, DIMM stands for Dual Inline Memory Module. The difference between RAM and ROM is simply that RAM can have data both read and written to it, while ROM can only have data read from it. ROMs are what is contained within older video game cartridges. In the image, the RAM chip is on the left and the ROM chip is on the right. Depending upon when you see this video, which was recorded in June 2020, the current generation of RAM is DDR4, or Double Data Rate 4. DDR5 is on the horizon, but that is a topic for another video. You may also see DDR4 SDRAM to describe a RAM stick. The SD means synchronous dynamic. It simply means that the RAM has better data and power management than previous versions of DDR RAM. DDR4 SD-RAM sticks can have data capacities that range from 4 to 256 gigabytes. Most computers have at least 2 DIMM slots. However, the data capacity of the RAM that can be inserted into the computer may be limited by other system hardware or software. Laptops and other smaller devices in many cases only have room for a single stick of RAM known as SODIMM, or a Small Outline Dual Inline Memory Module. Going forward, we will only be referring to desktop RAM. Now, I will show you what a desktop RAM stick typically looks like. For example, this is a Kingston 4GB stick. As you see, it simply has chips mounted on the stick. This Corsair 8GB stick has a metal covering to absorb the heat produced by the RAM. The hotter the RAM, the less efficient it operates. Using passive cooling, the metal is cooled by the computer's ventilation system like a heat sink that you would find on a CPU or central processing unit. This T-Force 16GB stick also has a metal covering, but includes RBG, or red, blue, green, lighting. The lighting does not improve performance. It is just a stylistic choice. Now I'm going to rapid fire some other RAM sticks. For example, this is a G-Skills 32GB stick. This is a Crucial 64GB stick. This is a Brute 128GB stick. This is a Hewlett-Packard 256GB stick. You may have noticed that while the capacity increased, the chip size of each stick generally stayed about the same. That is because the increased efficiency and capacity of each chip. As I had mentioned before, the higher the capacity, the hotter the chip runs, but also the increase in the purchase cost. The larger sticks with no metal to absorb some of the heat assumes that they will be placed into an expensively cooled computer. If you are curious about computer cooling options, check out Newegg's website under the Components, air quote, section of the menu labeled Fans and Cooling. In a recent Linus Tech Tips video, Will More RAM Make Your PC Faster 2020, Linus updated his RAM requirements for different types of computer usage. Coincidentally, I had posted my Computer Buying 101 video a few days prior to Linus's video that goes a step further and talks about what you would need for an entire computer based upon usage. The links to both Linus's and my videos are in the description. Now, all of the upcoming recommendations assume that nothing else is running short of the typical background processes. Thus, for Windows 10, Linus recommends 8 GB of RAM at minimum. Computers with 4 GB of RAM are capable of running Windows 10, and some laptops and smart devices even have a stripped-down version of the operating system to make running Windows 10 more efficient. For 2K video gaming, Linus recommends 16 GB of RAM, and for most games, I agree with him. But this assumes that you have a dedicated GPU with at least 4 GB of RAM, something that we will also assume going forward. For 4K video editing and gaming, Linus recommends at least 32 GB of RAM, and I also agree with him on that. Now, since 8K video is in its infancy and most people do not own 8K televisions, I have no RAM recommendation for 8K video editing or gaming. However, Linus recommends between 64 and 128 GB of RAM, as anything more would possibly be overkill. You would need 128 GB of RAM if you were running a full suite of 8K video editing software. As we wrap up, the RAM in your computer is where the short-term data is stored until either the computer no longer needs it or needs the space to store newer data. Now, unless otherwise changed in your system settings, your computer can store additional RAM data on your hard drive known as a page file. It can be less efficient than RAM, which is why more RAM is typically better. There is a lot more that can be said about RAM. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video. We would also like to thank our contributors and patrons for supporting this video. If you wish to add to the discussion, post a comment below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos. Are you an up-and-coming content creator looking for a user-friendly way to both record and broadcast your videos? Look no further than the XSplit Broadcaster. You can set up to 4 scenes, download plugins to add additional features, and broadcast your content to either Facebook, Mixer, Twitch, YouTube, or other streaming platforms in 720p resolution for free. With a premium license, you can set up unlimited scenes and broadcast to multiple streaming platforms at the same time in 1080p or better resolution. Click on the sponsor link in the description to get XSplit Broadcaster for free. Thank you for checking out our content. Before you leave, please remember to click like and then subscribe. If you want to receive notifications, do not forget to enable them by clicking on the bell. Then afterwards, check out our social media at HasledgeNet and our website at hasledge.net.